Make myself busy.
Chasing your tail here.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, welcome back. And for the first time for some of you, 2 days of the dead. So good to have you as always. Well, first off, we did this last time. But we're a few days away from your birthday, sir.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
On 3, can we wish him happy birthday? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! Yeah.
Thank you.
I have to do it every time. Birthdays are a big deal. You made it.
I don't want to get older.
But you made it. But you made it.
I did. I know.
It's all right. It's something to celebrate.
I don't want to be the AARP yet.
As long as you do it as Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Imagine that, right?
The AARTP.
Okay, so I am going to open this up with asking you a question, and then I'm going to make sure the audience gets their turn, so we'll throw it out to them. I want to ask each of you, what do you think makes Terrifier and Art the Clown resonate so deeply with everybody? Let's start with Daniel.
Thank you for asking. 2 things I think make it resonate. The talent of the creator, Damien, Leone, and the talent of the actor who portrays Art. And more specifically, I'm not just saying this because they're next to me, but it's really more specific. No, I know it's easy to, it's easy to be that guy, but I'm not that guy. What Damien has done is he's tapped it. Everybody's tried to do what he's done. Everybody. And what Damien's done is he went and made an old-fashioned movie instead of a new-fashioned movie, and he gave us all something that we had been missing. A silent and deadly protagonist who kills without mercy and does it in an entertaining way. And that's why I think you've captured people of all ages, because whoever remembers Chaplin, and whoever remembers The Exorcist remembers The Exorcist. And he's making a movie that's bringing us to all of that. So that's my opinion. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, sir. I don't know. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's pretty damn good. I think that there was sort of this void missing from the slashers that we grew up loving, or that I grew up loving from the 70s and the 80s. And just as a fan, I was always trying to recapture that for myself, first and foremost, because I make these movies for myself, first and foremost, and I hope that there's other people out there, like-minded people who have similar tastes, who will also gravitate toward my imagination, and thankfully that's happened, so I'm really grateful for that. But I think ultimately it is the Art the Clown character, clearly, that everybody fell in love with, and what this gentleman here brings to that character, and I think it's just the perfect marriage. But there's a charm and a charisma to Art the Clown. There's an allure to his presence, and I think when it comes down to the violence, we really push the envelope and we walk the walk. And like Daniel said, it's taking what's fresh, it's taking what's familiar that we all love and grew up loving, but then trying to bring it to a new audience, or add a new flavor and a new flair to it. That's going to keep it fresh and interesting. So hopefully that's what we're doing. But then when you put this guy in those shoes, it becomes something else. So yeah, it's a great marriage.
Yes.
I think it's also just the fun factor behind it all. It's just like we are making the type of movie that we have always wanted to see, that we grew up watching, and we wanted to bring it back to what we enjoyed. And we have fun making these movies, and I think that translates to the screen. You can tell when you watch other movies when they're having fun making it. There's a certain energy that's behind those type of films, and electricity too. Yeah, shocking. But so yeah, I think it's just the fun factor with the characters in this. It's not just art. It's he's a fun character. Seeing as an awesome, protagonist. It's all those combined is made for a fun film for everybody to watch.
Awesome. Yes. Little pale girl's not so little anymore. You're all grown up. Look at you. So what do you think makes Art the Clown, the character, little pale girl who is an extension of him, resonate so deeply with?
I think it's just the silence of both of them and the facial expressions, because it's the silence, it's a different creep factor, you know, when you have a character that doesn't speak, because, I mean, most horror movies aren't like that, and the little pale girl, like, the fact that she just makes creepy facial expressions and tilts her head in waves, I think that's just original, and same thing with art. It's just original, and it's not like anything else that's been done. And I think it was also just like all the hard work that was put into it, because I was 11 when I booked the role, and I cannot tell you how much hard work everybody put into it, on set, everything like that, flying up to New York and back to my hometown. Like, it was just so much work put into it. I think you can definitely see that in the movie, and I think that's what makes it special.
Tell me, as a, you play it amazing, like you said, the facial expressions and the mannerisms. Did you get coaching from this guy? on how to, like, be the same but different? Yeah.
I watched him from the side a lot. Yeah, when the first day I got there, I was watching him before my first scene, and I was just kind of studying him, seeing what he did, stuff like that, and then I just took it and made it my own. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Daniel said. I think it really starts from the top, and Damien's an amazing creator. He's also a lover of film and of horror, and I think when someone makes something with love, it really translates. And it's definitely translated to me. I've fallen in love with the genre in these films, and then combined with David, and then all, like Amelie was saying, all the really talented individuals, the cast, the crew. We're also all in love. We're artists, and we believe in his vision so much, and then combined with a fan base that is so in love also with horror, and us coming together, and that seeing that over the years build, and now the whole world is, privy to that, has been a really, really beautiful and magnificent thing. So it's just something that's so unique and special, and I've never seen or been a part of anything like that. So yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Good. Welcome to the family.
Oh, thank you. I'm still around. So, for me, I think, we live in a crazy world. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. And every now and then we want to check out and have some fun. And so, I think what works is that I found myself getting a lot of joy and jubilation out of watching Art freeze Dan's face off and blowing up a mall full of kids. And so, it's a weird feeling to be laughing there, Ned, but so I just think it works. It's fun, and so my kids are afraid of me now, but so I think that's what resonates with people. People want to have fun and get a moment where they can check out and just enjoy something, and I think it really brought that to everyone.
Oh, wonderful, absolutely, right?
I just realized something. We have a sandwich here.
We do. We really do.
A sandwich.
That's going to be the title of this episode, The Sandwich.
Sandwich.
The Sandwich with Art.
Summer?
Yes.
I've got a crazy question. Amelie, when kid actors get cast in things, generally they go and I had a scene with a horse, or we were 3 kids and we were, breaking into the witch's house. When you went home to North Carolina, what did you tell your friends you did on the set? Was the laundromat the first scene?
No.
Oh, was it?
The possum scene.
The possum scene. I just thought, how do you describe that to your 11-year-old friend? Well, it was like a circus, only nothing like a circus.
I would send selfies to them on set with my makeup on and everything, and my best friend to this day still has them, and she'll send them to me all the time. Back in 5th grade, and now I'm in 10th grade, and I would send selfies of me in costume and everything, and yeah, she still has them, and we laugh about them to this day.
And her audition was just to make freaky, creepy faces in a mirror. That was it. I don't think she had any idea what the role was. And that was it. And
I had a big black wig on, and I had a rainbow lollipop that was like the size of my face, and I was holding it up, and I was looking in a mirror, and I was just like making creepy faces.
she made some good creepy faces. She'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, it worked. And it showed she knew how to work with props.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Ollie props.
Audience questions. Who's got them? Right there. Or yeah, in the middle back. Yeah.
I'll try to project. Sorry. So we know that this has now an expiration date, that the end is going to be coming up with the final opus that you're being made. And really a question for everyone to answer. Looking back at the last 9 years, sometimes a person's perspective on that experience can change over time. And I just wondered, coming up now that it's going to be the final movie for part 4, what takeaways do you have from your experiences? Is there something that you learned about yourself that you didn't know 9 years ago, or felt differently about the industry, or any kind of takeaway that you'll never forget from this experience? Because I don't think a lot of us have our own takeaways from the past 9 years. So what has resonated with you in being a part of this for 9 years now?
That's a wonderful question. I have to say, movies aside, because I've been making these for so long and maturing, hopefully, as a filmmaker, as a writer, in front of everybody's eyes in a very vulnerable way. You've seen my worst work, from the time I was in my early 20s, making my first short films with this character, to hopefully getting better to where I am now. So I've learned so much. But the biggest takeaway is how important these movies are, especially how important they are to so many of you. And the stories that a lot of you tell us at these tables are some of the most personal, vulnerable, beautiful stories. And nothing bothers me more than when people just trivialize these films and say they're nothing but torture porn, and you have to be crazy to like and enjoy these movies. And we all know that couldn't be further from the truth. So hearing these stories and hearing how amazing and how helpful they've been to a lot of you, and how beautiful you find the characters, and how maybe some courage you find in a character like Sienna, that's the most amazing thing to me and the most beautiful thing, and it makes me really enjoy what I do for a living and want to just keep delivering something so special to you guys. So thank you so much. It really means a lot to us when we hear that.
I just want to echo that. I mean, I have spoken to a lot of you, and they're always really beautiful exchanges, and some of the most amazing experiences I've ever had was being at the conventions, meeting people, asking them why they love horror, because I didn't come into the horror industry early on in my life. I'm new to it, and so it's kind of exciting, and I get to see it through other people's eyes. Oh my God, yes! Perfect time.
Love you guys.
I wish they were asking something trivial about my prosthetics. I'm getting really deep now. But yeah, it's been a really beautiful experience for me. I'm completely opened up to a genre that is magnificent, and for all the reasons we described, because it's fun, because it's an escape, but also what Damien's saying is that we find a piece of ourselves in these characters, and it makes the day better. And yeah, meeting all of you and these past 10 years has changed my life. So.
Yes. Meeting me has changed your life.
You have changed my life. I see you and my whole day just brightens up. It's true.
Hey, can I just poke you in the eye? So these movies, he talks about growing as a director. These movies aren't. This was a 45-day shoot, 50-day shoot, 55-day shoot. I want to tell you something. I've known the guy for 4 years now, and first time he directed me with the same kind of tact and panache and intelligence with which I've been directed by some of the greatest directors of movies, like Andy Davis, like Dennis Hopper. And so you have matured as an artist. And the next step, I know this will be met with a round of boos, is making a movie that's not a horror movie, because you're there and you should do it. That's what I
Damien Leone rom-com.
Hallmark Christmas movie.
I'll still get at least one decapitation in there.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw some hands in the back there. Nope, yeah, right there in the end. Edge. Yeah.
Okay. The latest figure for worldwide gross is $86.9 million.
Wow.
And it's also saying Terrifier 3 has now become the highest grossing unrated movie of all time. When you first started this all out, did you ever imagine it would just
Absolutely not. When as popular as Part 2 got, even going into 3, I really figured that with Part 3 at the box office, we'd probably double what we did, because every time we make something with this character, with this franchise, it continues to grow on some level. It always has since we started. But if you ask me if there was ever the slightest possibility that for a weekend this could be the #1 movie in America, I would say you're out of your mind. It's impossible. It's unprecedented. Nothing like that could ever possibly happen. And it friggin' happened. And it made, it's literally historic. Like you said, it's the highest grossing unrated movie, or, I mean, we weren't rated NC-17, but if we were, we'd also be the highest grossing NC-17 movie ever, which is absolutely insane. But that is a testament to, again, I'll throw it to you guys, because you guys really just shook the system, the Hollywood system, and they don't know what the hell to make of this or what's going on. And it just goes to show that you don't need a $100 million marketing campaign to sell a movie. We didn't have that. We had about $500,000 marketing campaign, which to us is insane, but a movie like Joker 2 literally has like a $200 million marketing campaign. So it's just this grassroots, this true love of the genre, and just coming to these conventions and being sort of in the inner circle and having your finger on the pulse could really change the industry. And I think now you're probably, because of the success of this film, you're probably going to see this boom or this renaissance in very gory slasher movies. Even if they're still rated R, I'll bet you they're going to allow them to be much more horrific and graphic now because of the success of this film. So kudos to you guys. You guys made it happen.
You right there in the green stripes.
Okay, so I really love Jonathan. I know you've gotten a lot of questions.
I knew this was coming. I knew it.
Well, and I love him, and I think you did him in a really respectful way. As a person who had a lot of problems with trauma in college, so it really hit home with me. So we've seen a recurring theme of dead is not done in your films. Are we going to see that continue in 4? And I don't know if you can talk about it or not, but are we going to get any more little tidbits of Elliot Cohen and his awesomeness?
Oh, I will just say that that is the most polarizing thing to come out of Terrifier 3. I never imagined how insane the response would be over his, I'm going to say, supposed death at this point. I'm not going to confirm whether or not he's alive or dead, because you will get a definitive answer in the next one. But like you said, especially with these films, anything is possible. We've opened the doors to the supernatural. There's always flashbacks. I'm always giving you new breadcrumbs and revealing the pieces of this puzzle as we go, because the way I've structured this film is more like a mini-series as opposed to a singular film each time. So it's meant to play out and have its overall, satisfying conclusion at the very end. That's when everything will make sense, and every movie will take on a different sort of experience once you reach the climax. So yeah, you'll be very satisfied by the end of this. And to say this is the end, it's never officially the end. There's never officially a nail in the coffin of a franchise like this. I want to have my own personal satisfying saga that me as an artist, I could walk away and say, I know what that is, that feels good, I could put that aside. But I mean, this character will probably outlast David and I. I think this is something that can go on and be rebooted and have a series or a cartoon. Like, it'll just keep going. But who knows? It could be anything.
I'll do the voice work for it.
He'll honk the horn, do the Foley footstep. Yeah, so thank you, brother.
Well, I just see it now. Rob Zombie's Terrifier.
I'd watch it.
In the pretty dress, yes.
Art has a passion for murder and it's messy, but he also has a passion for cleanliness. washing dishes, washing his hands after he goes to the bathroom. Where did that come from? And
That's
concepts that you wanted to do that had to get axed?
That's a great question. Well, we're always trying to inject levity, especially now more than ever. And once David came on board, we really started putting as much humor into it as possible. Because at the same time, I was also getting more graphic with these movies and graphic with the kills. So I feel like the more graphic you make it, I kind of gotta win these back a little bit, or else I'll lose all of the fun in these films. So we love injecting those moments of absurdity that make absolutely no sense, but he's just doing that because he's a clown, and it's just his way of fucking with the situation, basically, and winking at the audience. Like him washing the dishes was something I came up with on the spot in the moment, you know, and those little things, we do those all the time. We come up with those things on the spot. I mean, a lot of times they're in the script.
You gotta get rid of the fingerprints.
Won't find them anywhere else in the house.
He's going to the whole place is scrubbing everything.
I like the idea that he smears shit all over the bathroom. And he's like, well, we don't want to give anybody a disease.
And also, real quick, it's trying to find those little mundane, everyday things that we love having him do that you would never see another killer do, which separates him again, like having him take a glass of water or go to the bathroom. It's something you would never see Freddy or Michael Myers do. So any little thing that we could do to make him more unique, we try and do. And we try and pull as much humanity out of the character as possible. And I think in part 3, David showed the most humanity and the most facial expressions and got so much out of the character. And there were multiple times that I went up to him when we were shooting this, and like 3 of my favorite scenes, and I would just say, like, dude, this is literally, I would say, dude, this is magic right now. I said that in the when we were shooting the mall scene with the kids, and when he was torturing Daniel and he was making all these facial expressions, and I'm just like, this is beautiful, this is magic, like you're in the zone right now. You just saw him in full control of this character, and it's a really amazing thing to watch, and it's some of my favorite things he's ever done.
Orange shirt.
Oh, we had, so after Mike Gianelli, the original Art the Clown, recast the role. We just held an open audition in the city for actors to come in to play this silent killer clown. And David was probably the 6th or 7th person to come into the room. And as soon as I saw him physically, didn't see him audition or anything, I said he would look great in that costume and in that prosthetic. Because he was so super thin, especially back then. And it's true. And that, but seriously, that's what I was specifically looking for when I recast the role, because the sculpture of Art the Clown was always very gaunt, like a zombie. I specifically gave him these cheekbones and the sunken in eye sockets and everything, and I said, ooh, it's gonna look like something I haven't seen yet, and I know that's gonna look amazing for this character. And then gave him very simple direction. He didn't even know what he was doing. He didn't have sides. And I said, you know, you're a killer clown, and I just need to see you decapitating somebody and doing it very gleefully. You're having a great time. And then you could see the audition. It's on my Instagram. It's online. And he just flips the switch instantly and gives just the most amazing Art the Clown theatrical performance. And it was me and Phil Falcone, just the 2 of us in the room, my partner. And we're just laughing and nudging each other, and we just got lost in the audition, and we knew he was going to be great. And as soon as he left, I turned to Phil and I said, what else are we looking for? I was like, that's everything I want. He looks great. The performance was above and beyond. I wasn't even looking for that much theatricality. So I said, let's just end this, basically. I said, let's call that guy back, have him come back to the apartment, we'll throw the prosthetic and the costume on, and we'll film him doing it in costume, and that's what we did. So there was never a runner-up. As soon as David came in, I knew that this was the guy. So
I did have a final.
I was the ninth guy in the line. When we talked in that room.
You stole the part from Daniel. Oh my God.
I did have a final audition though, and it was my final test. They had just ordered pizza, and I was in the full costume and makeup, and they're like, okay, this is your final audition, go answer the doors, Art.
Eat the pizza without getting any on the prosthetic.
I still feel like that. That pizza guy had no idea what he was in for. It was funny. I just like give him the money, and he's just like, what the hell? It's a little nowhere Staten Island, just like in the middle of daytime. He's like, what the hell? It was fun.
So I'm a high school teacher, and I only teach freshmen. And like in the couple of weeks leading up to the release of Part 3, I just keep hearing all these kids like, oh, Terrifier 3, Terrifier 3. And I was like, these kids either have really cool parents or like they're sneaky like I was, you know? So when I finally did go see it, you know, the day before I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to see it tonight. You know, I told some of the kids that I'd heard talking about it, oh, you gotta tell us about it. So I went back on Monday and the kids were like, well, how was it? I was like, well, I can't officially tell you to go see it since I'm your teacher, but it was awesome you to go see it. So I'm sorry if any of the parents.
Where were these kinds of teachers when I was in high school?
So, but my question is, like, you know, obviously, as we see in Part 3, you're definitely cool with killing off kids in the movie, but you know,
Fucking kids.
That was fantastic. But I was wondering, how do you feel about like 14-year-old kids being able to see your movie? Like, it's technically, I guess they're not really supposed to be in the theater watching it, right? But people are still letting them in, and they're finding ways, especially online now. And like I said, they knew more about it than most adults did. So the campaign, the online campaigning, and the media campaigning is obviously hitting with a certain demographic. I was just wondering how.
Give us their names and we'll kill them.
Well, I think that the fascinating thing is how many children love this character who haven't seen the movies. So they've just seen clips of him, or they've seen his image, and we hear that all the time at the tables, at the cons as well. And he's so popular now on social media, so they see memes and they see TikTok videos and all these things. So he has this whole other presence, this social media presence, and they're not really familiar with the films yet. So of course, I don't recommend that children see these movies. But it'd be hypocritical for me to say that, you know, would I get upset if a 14-year-old saw the movie? I've been watching these movies since I'm 4, and I turned out fine. I have 2 bodies under my house, but shit, you know, it could be way worse.
Yep.
So this is for Damien. So we heard before Terrifier 3, there was a film that, or a scene in the film that made you sick.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure the film is now Terrifier 3's out. Could I ask, in Terrifier 3, what scene to you is playing Arthur Clown was most unnerving on set when watching the film? And then the other 3 most satisfying. What's your most satisfying as well?
The scene was Aunt Jess's death. I don't like puke at all. And we actually filmed a lot more puke than what you see in the film. And it was disgusting, and that room was really hot and smelly anyway, and then they used this nasty cream and mushroom soup, and they added some extra stuff to it too. So it was disgusting, and then this biatch comes over in the full makeup, looking nasty, and had this horrible smelling bag of corn nuts. And just horrible breath.
I did not have horrible breath.
Oh, you did. It smelled like someone crawled in your mouth and died.
I'm pretty sure that's not what corn nuts smell like.
Oh, they do. It's like, hey, what's wrong?
But the rat shit was fine to him. It didn't bother
the rat shit was fine. But no, they're all like, please, can we send my, because one of our Fuzz & Limbs guys, Steve Delasello, sometimes fills in for me when I'm in makeup and stuff, like be my arm or something like that, so I can keep filming things. I'm like, can Steve just be my arm? Like, no, Dave, your face is the shot. I'm like, why? So I'm just on the side, just, and there's a whole scene where like the vomit, like projectile vomited out of that tube and hit this thing on the wall. Like they had a little sheet up for it, but it was like that was just. I was just like, this is bad, and I just know that they were just doing this to torture me. You don't see my face in the shot at all in the movie during that. I'm like, this is not fair.
I have some footage of this moment.
It's all on tape.
It
is all on tape.
Oh,
It's
wow.
there. This is real. But my most satisfying kill, though, to me, my favorite one was Santa's death. That one, I just love that kill scene. And we were actually going to take it a little bit further than what you see in the film. We just ran out of time because we wanted to go to that whole snowman motif. And we had this whole thing where Art was going to also take 2 pieces of coal, light them on fire, and shove them into his eyes. It was just like, but we just ran out of time. It was I know. I know, but we still got the carrot, and I just love that scene. That's also my favorite scene I had filmed in the whole entire series so far. That whole week was just magic with Danny and Brad and Clint. It was like the four of us. Damien just let us loose that week. We just got to play, and especially with Danny and I, he is such a great straight man. He knows how to really throw the joke to you. He was making all that dialogue. It was all him. He was just coming up with all this stuff with me torturing him.
No, that's not it. He really did come up with so much, so many of those great lines.
It was so funny. It was just like, he just knows how to throw you the joke, and it just gave me so much to work with. And it was just like, I grew up watching him and Clint and all them on, my whole entire life. So being able to do a scene with these guys was just pure magic. I loved working with him, and it was magic. And we just had, I think that was probably all of our favorite week on
It was
set.
mine.
Yeah.
The most fun I've had filming any scene in any one of the entire movies.
So happy for you guys. So happy you had so much fun.
Well, I didn't say
We love you.
I just didn't bring corn nuts. That might
It sounds like you guys had a great time filming.
Your scenes are visually the worst. It has nothing to do with her, just the nature of the Victoria character.
Do any of you have anything you want to contribute to that question, like most disgusting experience on set?
Sam doesn't smell like corn nuts.
Just a note. Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of them.
no,
Missy.
when the rat took a massive shit on me.
Oh.
They only had like 2 costumes for me, so I had to actually keep wearing the same costume.
It was good for morale.
I definitely channeled that. No, I'm never disturbed when we're filming it. It's more when I'm watching these films that I'm highly disturbed.
Same for you. Yeah. All right, one more. That guy right there, Hungary.
No, yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I only had a question about, because, the first 2 Terrifiers that are on Halloween, this one obviously was the holidays, Christmas. So, I had a lot of dreams about what I was so excited for and anticipating. So I'm thinking candy canes, nutcrackers, chestnuts roasting at an open fire. Were there any, kills
missed
that you
opportunity.
maybe
Sure.
thought that Ken might have done?
Or mistletoe with a toe.
What was that last sentence?
I'm sorry,
Any,
yes.
any kills that were holiday in nature, that were maybe
Talked
kind of
about?
written out as, that's a maybe. Was
No,
there
they're
anything
moving
you
them
could
all
share?
to the Arbor Day. for Arbor Day.
Leave me alone.
That's the reason why his kill existed, was because when I wrote the script, there were virtually no Christmas-based kills. There were religious-based kills, where there was the crucifixions and things like that. But I said, there's nothing here that really screams Christmas. But that's not what I like to do with this character. I like just traditional slasher movie kills, and I just like to do them on a very extreme level. And it was really George Stuber, the DP, who I was having lunch with him one day, and I told him this sort of dilemma. I was like, we need something. And he was the one who brought up, he's like, why don't you do something with a Frosty Snowman type kill or something like that. And then I was like, and then I thought of the torch from part 2, and I was like, what if we go in the opposite direction? I give him a frost gun instead of a torch, and he could freeze somebody. And then just the whole thing where it still has to be gory, and then he'll shatter the bones in the body and stuff like that. But I thought that was a huge risk, and I liked the idea, but it was so comical and fantastical, and I was like, we're basically turning him into Mr. Freeze. I was like, could I pull this off in some kind of realistic way, and make it where he's building something with liquid nitrogen, and maybe the audience will buy it. So I was on the fence for a long time, but I'm glad that we did it, because it's a fun kill, and we still turned it into a gnarly gross kill, so it was cool.
I also have to add something too. Damien came up with 2 of my favorite things, almost in the spur of the moment on set too. And I think there's 2 moments that really resonate with the audiences as well, and they think they're hilarious. The one is the blood angel. We were trying that whole entire time for that kill scene. For weeks we were trying to come up with a way to add some kind of coda to the end of it, something funny there, and it was, it's like the day of, he's driving over. Yeah, he's like, why don't we do a blood angel? Like, oh my god, it's amazing. That was like the last thing we filmed in the movie, and I was giddy when we were doing that. I was so happy. But the other one is people comment all the time on this, is Sienna getting slapped. That was pure. It was like we're in the. It's like he's like there's like we need some levity here or something like that. It's like why don't every time you go by her, just slap her in the back of the head. It's like literal slapstick comedy. It's like I was like, oh my god, Lauren. I'm like, Lauren, are you okay? She's like, okay, Dave.
Lauren also got hit like over 30 plus times.
Yeah, I was like, I am so
you see it 20
sorry.
times.
Giving her a concussion.
Oh yeah. One time I whacked the back of the chair. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, I deserve that.
But yeah, we do that all the time when we come up with stuff on the spot, like with props, and he's smelling the foot. I mean, that's all him, and he, picks it up and then tosses it over the shoulder. But we never know. Like, there's things we'll do where like, oh, the audience is really gonna like this and gravitate toward this, and it's just dead. It doesn't go anywhere. And then there's things like the slap. We thought it was funny, but we didn't think it would be memes and everybody would be talking about smacking Samantha. So yeah, you never know.
All right, everyone, give it up.
Thank you.